Good evening, everybody on YouTube. So welcome to the last session I'm doing in this series. So we've been doing a number of different transformation sessions because it has been quite prevalent, especially recently, with a number of people expressing that they are just feeling like they are completely stuck in life. And so I wanted to come and do a little bit of an introduction with you guys first before I go live on Facebook, because my Facebook audience is really used to doing this. I've got quite a following of people that tune in specifically for this type of information. But for YouTube Live, that is something that I only started yesterday, so a very, very new concept. I don't normally have so many live sessions back to back, but because the severity of people struggling, that's one of the reasons why I've done these 3 sessions literally starting yesterday. I had the first one at 8 o'clock, which you'll be able to view. It's up on my video list. Then I had one today at 12, which was all about releasing money blocks. And then this evening, we're all talking about I'm not good enough, that feeling of not being good enough. My children have just come home from a birthday party, so you'll probably hear them in the background. But yeah, this I'm not good enough is really rife. It's extremely prevalent. Your inner critic is that little voice that keeps narrating a time and time and time and time and time again, and it will often have that I'm not good enough. Now that can manifest in numerous different ways. It can be appearing with lack of finances. It can be appearing in lack of love and joy in a relationship, or even being unable to attract the right type of relationship. It can also mean that you're in unfulfilling role within your job. So we're going to be going through a number of or numerous different things that happen with regards to that this evening. But I just wanted to come to you guys in particular before we go onto Facebook. So I'm going to be introducing the live Facebook audience now. So you'll hear me doing that. So you'll understand why that's happening. And then we should all be synced together and hopefully help this to go through. My hair's gone all wispy as well. So hi, good evening to everybody on Facebook. Thank you very much for joining me. I've already got YouTube up live. I will be doing both of the platforms simultaneously. So more really for my YouTube audience, if you don't already know me, my name is Tracy Cornelius. I am a transformation coach, an intuitive reader, a public speaker. I do a lot of work with regards to energy, but also with EFT, which is emotional freedom technique, otherwise known as tapping. And you will find out a lot about my journey and how I kind of got through all of the different challenges and experiences, if you like, especially within this session of I'm not good enough. So we're really talking about I'm not good enough because it is so prevalent. It is so rife in people's lives, that inner critic that keeps going and going and going in your mind that tries to convince you that you're not good enough. Now, I want to give you some examples, and I can give you a great one even for probably something that you will have experienced recently. Anytime you go to do something that is new, that is challenging, that may be a breakthrough. So if you're in business, if you're in work, if you're a parent, if you're trying to lose weight, if you have any kind of goal, if you have found yourself quite distracted, thinking, oh, I really must just go and do X, Y, or Z. I really must just go and do this. I really must just go and do that. That is actually part of I'm not being good enough. And let me explain to you why that happens to be. The programming that goes along in the background in your subconscious mind. So the subconscious mind really is where all of your memories are kept, where all of your programming is kept. Your conscious mind is only about 10% of your brain. It's a very small amount. So what happens is that when we go to experience something new, the brain can only ever look at something, if you like, by looking at the past. It goes through past experiences and past observations, and then it will look and go, oh, hang on a second. Yeah, we've kind of been through a situation similar to this, and it didn't kind of work out so well for us. So let me make sure that that doesn't happen to you right now. It is just trying to protect you. But in trying to protect you, this is when that self-sabotaging behavior comes in. So, i.e., it will then give you a distraction. Oh, I really must go and do, or I really must go and do this. I really must go and do that. It's getting in the way of you being able to move forward. Now, you go to me, well, how on earth is that being on I'm not good enough? Let me give you an example. Let's just say that we take you back to a situation that happened at school, where you went to submit a assignment, a program, whatever that happened to be. Hi, Emma. Great to see you on here. And the teacher absolutely ripped into you and basically said, that it wasn't good enough, and that you can do better. And that you're really kind of letting things down at the moment. And the one that they think that you might have a bit of an issue when they say, you're really letting yourself down. That's a big one. That's a huge one. Hi, Alex. Great to see you on here. I've got Alex come up on YouTube as well. I'm on Facebook now, Alex. I started on YouTube a little bit earlier than Facebook, so that's why there was a little bit of a difference. But thanks for letting me know. So so the perfect one, or a perfect example, is especially when somebody says to you, you're really letting yourself down. Now, that goes into your subconscious programming, and it's like, oh, you know what? I went through that kind of situation. I was told I wasn't good enough. I was really letting myself down. So let me stop that from happening now by having this distraction. That's just one example. Now, if you have already got experiences where you know that you're constantly telling yourself that you are not good enough, and you're happy to share that, then do share that. We will use some EFT and maybe the emotion code as well to have a breakthrough this evening. So other ways of feeling like you're not good enough is that voice where it says, why is anyone going to love you? And it's got that kind of sarky, almost like kind of voice. I've had an exercise that I did with a group of people during a workshop, and I was like, could you sound out what your inner critic sounds like? And it was hilarious, because it was either that kind of very like in your face kind of almost like musical kind of tones, if that makes sense, right the way through to almost like a monotone wah, 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 wah type of voice. So it's quite amusing when you observe what your inner voice is like rather than being in it. And during my 6 weeks to Fire Your Inner Critic and Hire Your Inner Coach course, I actually show you how to identify your inner critic and then how to come from it from an observational point of view rather than being in it and being reactional. So that I'm not good enough comes through can be within relationships. Why doesn't anyone love you? You're not good enough. Look how many relationships that you've had that's failed already. Now, I also want you to pay attention to this, because this is where it gets really interesting as well. Is it genuinely your voice, or is it the voice of your parents, for example? I can give you classic ones that have come through time and time again through my clients. So why haven't you got a boyfriend yet? Like, your sister's got a boyfriend. She's already settled down. Why haven't you got one yet? You keep putting your career first, but really you need to be settling down. You need to really be married by now. The amount of pressure that goes with that's already setting that scene for I'm not good enough for a relationship. It might not be the exact words, but that's the feeling that goes inside. Emma has got on here. Yeah, that's absolutely me. Why would anyone want a relationship with me? So Emma, you unfortunately are not alone in that. It is prevalent. I have numerous clients that come to me with that. And the next one is, well, you might be able to attract somebody, but they're going to find out that you're a fake and a phony as soon as you start being in a relationship with them. So it's not going to last. So why even bother? How many of us go through that? I love it's got on here. Emma's got, it's my ego going into fear to keep me safe. If I don't believe, then I can't get hurt. Exactly. It's just all these parts of things. Alex has got, my thing is I'm not good enough to get the work that I truly desire. It's my parents for sure. I was told that what makes you so special to be successful. Absolutely. That what makes you so special. Oh my gosh. It's sometimes hard for me to go right the way back to the beginning because I've been doing this for so long, but that what makes you so special was one of the biggest ones for me. My parents really did knock me down on numerous occasions, and every time I did really well, they knocked me down again. So I can completely understand that. So yeah, why are you so special? And it has that real kind of emphasis on that as well. The other part of it will be, you know, sometimes when we have moments where we actually feel really good about ourselves, and then that inner critic comes in and says, wow, aren't you getting above your station? What makes you think that this is going to continue? You know that you shouldn't be saying that about yourself, or you're so full of yourself. It's horrible, that kind of voice that keeps going. So Emma's got on here, even though I know that, I can't stop myself from going into fear sometimes still. 100% Emma. And let me explain why. So that was a really, really good point. So thank you very much for sharing that. Okay. So as you guys know, I am an EFT advanced practitioner, and I have been since 2009. I've also been a law of attraction coach since 2008. In between that and now, I've also done a plethora of other courses, qualifications to help me better be able to serve you. So I've done life coaching, for example. I've also done the emotion code practitioners. I've done a huge amount on mindset coaching, as well as meditation, a plethora of different things. Now, even though I have done that, I have studied that, even though I can coach this, please do not think that that means that I go through life without having any of these little trip ups, these sections where I'm not maybe manifesting in life what I want, or whether I manifest it and then I kind of lose it straight away. I still have that, and here is why. Even when you know this information, that's a very conscious thought. I can consciously think right now, even if I thought I'm not good enough, I could rethink that and go, actually, you know what? I am. I am good enough. I am beautiful. I am intelligent. I am loving. I am caring. I give to other people. Yes, I am good enough. I'm a great mum. I am good enough. However, if my programming, which is the program that helps everything run in the background, is not congruent to that, then there'll be a misalignment. And how do I know when I'm in misalignment? And how do you know when you're in misalignment? It's when you haven't got the things in life that you want. So if you haven't got the finances, if you don't have the relationship, if you're not in the job that is inspiring you, is passionate about, or if you are in that job, but you're not attracting your ideal clients, if you're not attracting the right amount of income from that, then there is a misalignment. So that comes from that programming. Now, I did mention this yesterday, but it's worth repeating. I cannot undo your programming, i.e., I cannot delete it. Your programming is something that has happened pretty much from birth to where you are right now. But the majority of your programming actually happened between the ages of 0 to 7. So 0 to 7, there is absolutely no filter on a child's brain whatsoever. That's why children are extremely observant. They don't filter out anything that they see. As adults, we naturally filter out our environment because we cannot cope with all of the information coming in from every single receptor at the same time. So therefore, our brain is already consciously thinking, okay, well, this is important for you to see. And this is why if you ever do hypnosis or you go into mind work, it's absolutely fascinating. A lot of the times when we witness a traumatic event, for example, at the time we can recall very little. But if you were to quieten everything that happens on the outside and you take somebody back and you say, okay, what is it that you can see? What is it that you can feel? Can you hear the birds, for example? Can you hear the traffic? You will be able to recall a lot of the information that you didn't even know you were taking in at that point in time. It's absolutely fascinating. Right. The reason why I want to tell you that this is so important, because there is a point to this. That programming that you've got going on, you've got the conscious thought of, I am good enough. Your subconscious, however, is going, you're not good enough. Let me show you when you've not been good enough. You weren't good enough when you were 5 years old, and your sister completely outshone you. You weren't good enough when you were at school and you were on that play. You weren't good enough when you were late for that appointment. You weren't good enough when you were in that relationship. You weren't good enough when you went out for your mates. You weren't good enough in insert whatever that happens to be for you. The subconscious overrides the conscious thought because it's part of your programming. Now, here's the other part. The programming might not have even been your decision. It might not even be your experiences. If you were witnessing and observing around you, for example, maybe your parents often had a negative connotation, that nothing was ever good enough, that they were always in that blaming mode. They were always in that victim mode of, it's okay for everybody else. You know, I try so hard, I work so hard, nothing ever happens for me. Nobody ever loves me. Nobody pays me attention. Nobody ever thanks me. Nobody ever gives me a handout. You know, that kind of, it might not have even been directed at you. That could have been happening in the background, but you will have still been observing that, and that would be your programming. So what I'm going to hope, if you're happy to do this, Emma, then I can work with you in particular. What I'm hoping to do is to rewrite that programming. And the way that we can do that is using EFT. So EFT, as I mentioned, is emotional freedom technique, otherwise known as tapping. So here's the scientific part to it. We tap on the different meridian points of the body. Now, the meridians will help to reset the amygdala response in the brain. So let me just explain what that is and how it works. Every time we have a thought and a feeling, a memory, anytime we're doing something, experiencing something, the amygdala will fire up if it feels that it is threatened in any way, shape, or form. That's what's called the fight, flight, or freeze response. So for example, Emma, if we are taking, let's say that we're taking love, for example. So thanks very much for volunteering. And the fact that you love EFT, this is going to be awesome. So let's take love, for example. So you've already put on here that you have an issue with that you think that you are not good enough. You're not good enough to have that loving relationship. You're not good enough to be in a relationship. You're not good enough to have somebody love you. I'm not personally saying this, of course. This would be that inner critic going. Now, when that thought comes up, there is no difference to your brain and the way that it fires up all those neurons and all those neurons and the pathways within the brain. There is no difference when you are thinking it to experiencing it. So let's just say that you had a previous challenging relationship where somebody made you feel less than worthy because they had their own issues with their own programming. But instead of dealing with their issues, they decided to project it onto you. And that's then left you in this situation now that every time you think about a relationship, your subconscious is going, hey, we've been through this before. It was not a good experience. So I'm just gonna let's just cut this right here. Let's escape. Let's press the escape button because we don't want to go through any of this pain. So it thinks it's trying to help you, but of course it's stopping you from being able to move forward. And actually in this moment, that's not happening. You're not in any danger. There is no threat to you. That's something that happened in the past. So by using the EFT, we are basically going to reset that amygdala response to that thought pattern, if you like. Now, here's how we do that. We use it with NLP. So NLP is neuro-linguistic programming. The neuro-linguistic programming, the words that we use, you cannot have a word without a thought. And you cannot have the word and the thought without an emotion. It's impossible to do that. You will have some kind of physiological response to every word and to every thought that you have. So we do that. We're moving into that. So we're bringing up from the subconscious. The amygdala's fired up because it's like, whoa, been through this. Don't like this kind of feeling. Let's abort. But then we tap on the different meridians. And what that does is it dampens down that amygdala response. So what we're effectively doing is we're resetting it. It's a fascinating, absolutely fascinating thing to see the scientific part to it, i.e. seeing the brain patterns when you're actually tapping. So Emma, what I would like you to do, just so that we have a gauge to go by, I would like you to rate the intensity on a scale of 0 to 10, 0 being, you know what, I'm absolutely cool when I kind of think about being good enough in relationships. I'm good with that. That's all pretty awesome. 10 being the most painful, the most profound experience that you could be having, the most amount of doubt as well that you could be having. So where are you on a scale of 0 to 10 when we think about relationships and being good enough to be in a relationship, being good enough to be with? Just going back through the comments, so just while you're waiting to reply on the Alex one, I have been successful. I feel like I am judged by others, so I step back. 100%. Alex, if you're happy to, after we've worked with Emma, we will work on that too, because that, again, is very high within people. Excellent, Emma. Okay, so thank you for that. So we've got Emma is at a 9 with regards to that. So that's a very high level of uncomfortability, a very high level of understanding that actually I'm not good enough, and that feeling of not being good enough. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with a setup statement. This is how we are going to fire up that amygdala response. Okay, so we're going to tap from the base of our little finger to the beginning of our wrist. There's a nice fleshy part of the hand there. I'm going to take 3 fingers. Now, for everybody that is watching, please do tap along, because even though this may not be the exact wording that you would originally use, the tapping can really help. And what it will also do is it will bring up for you whatever issues are going on for you. And you can substitute the wording if you like, or you can just tap along and use the same wording as we are. Okay, so Emma, we're going to go through, even though I feel like I'm not good enough. And if you can repeat this, I forgot to mention that. So you repeat this, even though I feel like I'm not good enough. I truly and completely love and accept myself anyway. Even though I don't feel like I am good enough for a relationship or for love or for anyone loving me. Why would anybody want to love me? Even though I know that feeling is holding me back and it's stopping me from gaining the love that I want, I love and accept myself anyway. So even though I know I'm not good enough, especially for love, I forgive, love, and accept myself anyway. Now for you, I just want you to check in with your body where you're also feeling this. We're now going to go to the top of the head. And in fact, if you just tap here for a second, for those of you that are unfamiliar with EFT, then I'm just going to bring up the I'm just going to bring up the link to the EFT cheat sheet, because you can actually just go ahead and download this now. And then you can tap along, or alternatively, you can just tap along with us anyway. But if you are the type of person that prefers to be able to see it, then you can tap along there. Okay, so sorry, we're at the top of the head. So this feeling of not being good enough, that I'm not good enough for love. Hi, Emma. I'm not worthy of love. Now, not being good enough and not being worthy are 2 very similar aspects, but there are slight different nuances. And I go through that in the course, but I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a moment. So this feeling of not being good enough, this feeling of not being good enough for love, this feeling that I can't be good enough because I haven't got the loving relationship that I want yet. Now, Emma, especially for you, I just want you to pay attention if there are any heightened emotions that you're getting from any of these words that I'm using. If you do, let me know. If it feels uncomfortable, please just keep tapping. because what we're doing is that we may be heightening those emotions for you, but by tapping, we will bring that intensity down, okay? But if anything really fires up for you, just let me know, because that's really what we want to kind of focus on and have the breakthrough with. Okay, so even though I feel like I'm not good enough for love. I'm not worthy of a relationship. Because if I was, then I would be in a relationship now. I would be in a loving relationship. Your sacral chakra is very heavy. Perfect. Pay attention to that. If there is a color around that, especially because I know that you do Reiki, your emotions are rising. Perfect. Know that that's completely natural. I tend to do this on purpose because I want to make sure that you've got a proper breakthrough. And you can only get to a proper breakthrough when you're getting to the root of this. So what was it on the emotions were rising? What wording was I was using? Is it because I mentioned about otherwise you'd be in a loving relationship already? Let me know, because that's what we will concentrate on as well. So yeah, I'm not good enough. And you know what? I'm not good enough, not just for relationships. I'm not good enough, full stop. If I was, then I would be in a much better place right now. I know I'm not good enough because other people have told me that I'm not good enough, so they must be right. And I don't feel good enough. I don't feel like I'm worthy. I don't feel like I'm good enough. Yes, otherwise it would have happened already. Okay, thanks very much for sharing that. That is very common one to spike those emotions. So let's look into that. Because otherwise I'd already have everything that I want. I would already be in a loving relationship, so I can't be worthy. I can't be good enough. Okay, now for me, as I tune into you, I've still got that feeling around about the same place that you did. Concentrate on that as you're tapping as well. And you can say things, for those of you that have joined us and are tapping away as well, you can say things such as this sludgy black feeling in my stomach, this spiky rectangle in my side, this piercing pain in my head, this blue ball of ice in my shoulder. Like whatever it happens to be for you, get as specific as you possibly can. Okay, so Emma, we're now going to start to switch on our wording. Okay, so this feeling of not being good enough, especially because I'd already have the relationship that I want, is that really because of me? Is it really because I'm not good enough? Or is it because the voice that I can hear sounds so convincing? Because it sounds like it's speaking the truth. But what if it's not my thought? Yes, it's blackness and stabbing sensations in my sacral chakra. Perfect, then keep concentrating on that. What if it's the voice of my mother telling me that I should have already been in a relationship by now? What if it's the voice of somebody else telling me of something that I should do? But is it because I should have done that, or is that because that's what their expectation is? What's my expectation? What's my actual feeling? What's my inner voice? Because I'm now ready to let go, so I can hear my voice. I'm now ready to let go of everybody else's opinions, everybody else's expectations, so I can hear my true inner voice. The true inner voice that says, actually, I am good enough, that I am lovable, that I am worthy of love, that I deserve love, that I deserve to be in a loving relationship, and that I am good enough to be in a worthy relationship and a loving relationship, that I can have the companionship that I've always wanted. My inner voice tells me all of that. So I'm letting go of everybody else's voices, everybody else's expectations, because that's their programming, that's their story. That's not my story. I'm no longer hanging on to their beliefs. I'm no longer hanging on to that is not serving me to my highest good. Letting go of all these emotions. Letting go of all that's holding me back. Allowing my inner voice to tell me that I'm good enough. Allowing myself to feel that I am good enough. And actually, I do feel like I'm good enough. I am good enough. I am worthy of love. I am good enough for love. I am good enough to attract the right relationship to me. I'm worthy of being able to attract the right resources to me. And I'm good enough for that. I can hold a conversation without being embarrassed because I'm good enough. I can be me. I don't need to be anybody else. I am happy and content to be me. I am happy and content to be me. I am happy and content to be me. And I love myself because I am good enough. Okay, I just want you to go back to the karate chop point and tap here. Take a deep breath and just shake your body out just a little bit. And just let me know where that intensity rate is now on a scale of 0 to 10 when we concentrate on that feeling of being good enough, especially within relationships. So just waiting for that information to come through. You are down to a 5. Perfect. Awesome. So what we're going to do now is we're going to work a little bit more on that 5 feeling. So I just want to create another piece of paper just because I know that we won't be able to keep everything up on the screen. And just also let me know, has it moved from that position in your body as well? I yawned lots and the stabbing pain has gone. Emma, you're so awesome. You kind of preempt a lot of things that I need to divulge to you. So you are amazing. Right. Let me know one of the 2 responses that I will often experience in my clients when they have a breakthrough. And I mean a breakthrough. The first is yawning. That's the most common. It's almost like this release that kind of happens. The next one is sighing. So those 2 usually mean we've had a major breakthrough. You've really kind of got into the depth of what the issue happened to be. So that's amazing. I'm really pleased that you had that. It's moved into your root chakra now, or moved into the root chakra more. So this is good. Moving into the root chakra. This is, well, as you will know personally, this is where your core grounding is, where the basis of you begins, really. Without the root chakra, you cannot let the energy run through to the other chakras. So George and I were yawning locks. Excellent, Alex. This is an amazing part to be tapping with, because this really does affect so many people. So like I said, the yawning is when you have a release. Now, I did also mention this earlier on, if you were with me when we were doing releasing the money blocks. But when you have a breakthrough, when we do this, I highly suggest you have some water. When we release emotions that have been trapped for such a long time, it will also release toxins within the body. So it just helps to flush everything through. So make sure that you stay hydrated, as I'm trying to now. Okay, so we've got to the root chakra. So I really want to concentrate on this. So this is going to be your underlying belief about love and relationships. So let me just see where I want to go with this. As I I burped too. That's brilliant. As I go through this, Emma, because I don't know your circumstances, as we're doing this, just let me know in the comments if it resonates with you, with a yes. If it doesn't resonate with you, then just say no. So 2 fingers to the top of the head. Even though I've never witnessed a loving relationship, even though I didn't grow up with a loving relationship in and around me to guide me as to what that was meant to be, I truly and completely love and accept myself and know that I don't have to repeat the same story. That's not my experience. That's not my future. It's not my story. It's not the one I'm going to carry through. So even though I'm not 100% sure exactly what a loving relationship looks like, and I don't know what it feels like, I'm ready to be open to the experience. I'm ready to be open. You've got yes. Excellent. Thanks for sharing that. I'm ready to be open as to what a loving relationship would be, what a caring relationship would be. Someone taking care of me and loving me wholeheartedly, because I'm good enough to have that. I deserve that. I know that I can love wholeheartedly. I know that I can love unconditionally, but I've never experienced that back again. But today that changes. Today I release all those emotions that have been keeping me from having that. Now, Emma, just want to pre-warn you that this may make your emotions spike, but go with it. I'm ready to forgive my parents because I know it wasn't their fault. They were doing the best that they could with the information they had to hand, with their programming. I'm ready to forgive them for not being the parents that I needed. I'm ready to forgive them for not being able to show me what a loving relationship should be. I'm ready to forgive all my past experiences for not showing me what a loving relationship should be. And I'm ready to forgive myself for not experiencing it yet. Because I'm good enough. I love myself. I'm not always perfect, because perfect doesn't exist. But I'm doing the best that I can. And the best that I can do for me now is to let go of the past, is to let go of all those emotions that have been holding me back, letting go of all of that pain, frustration, disappointment, lack of love, lack of understanding, because I am good enough. I am worthy of love. I am worthy of a great relationship. And I'm ready to experience that. I'm ready to be open to that. I'm ready to open myself up so that I can attract to my life the person and the experiences that I really want. I understand that even though I haven't experienced it before, I can still experience that now and continuing in the future. That my future is unwritten. It's just not a regurgitated part of the past. The past is something I forgive and release with love. I let that go. I'm saying goodbye to all that is holding me back. I'm saying goodbye to all those emotions that have been holding me back. I'm saying goodbye to all that conditioning that's been holding me back. I'm releasing it all with love. I accept what happened before, and I accept that that's not following me forward. That it was just an experience. That it doesn't have to affect my future. I am not my story. I am not my parents' story. I'm not anyone else's story. Everything is unwritten. It's a blank new page today. And in that page, it starts. Emma O'Reilly is open to a loving, amazing, fulfilling, long-term relationship. Okay, and just go to the karate chop point and tap on here. Shake it out, take a deep breath. Now let me know where you are on a scale of 0 to 10. For me, I felt a major shift when we were going through that, so it'd be interesting to know how that transpires for you. For those of you that have just joined us as well, if you also want to go through a breakthrough this evening, then let me know in the comments. Oh, bless you. Okay, so wow, lots of tears flowed then. Okay, again, that can be a good thing. That's also part of that release as well. Massive release. Yes. Okay. So if you were to focus on this now and think about being good enough for a relationship and allowing love to flow into your life, where would that be now on a scale of 0 to 10? 0 being, you know what, I'm completely cool down to that. Excellent. Oh, down to a 2, I feel more ready than I ever have. That is awesome. I am so incredibly pleased for you. Now, you can continue on this little path yourself. You know the techniques. If you haven't already downloaded the EFT cheat sheet, then I highly recommend that you do, mainly because I have a wonderful picture of me on the front. That's not the reason why. But on here, what you've got is basically how we do the setup statement and why it's so important. But then, oh, I've got lots of light being shown. Sorry about that. I've then also got the intensity bar, which is that scale of 0 to 10. I've also got examples of the setup statement. And then, of course, I've got all the tapping points. Oh, you can't see that because I've got the light on it. I'm so sorry. Let's see if I can do it that way. There we go. All the different tapping points that we use as well. It's a free resource. So I've put the link in the comments, but let me just see if I can add that again for you. And you can just go ahead and download that and have it there. Wonderful. Okay, so thank you so much to Emma for working with us. I really hope that you were tapping along. If you were having a breakthrough while we were doing that, then please also let me know in the comments. Now, Alex, you also mentioned earlier on, so yours was to do with work. I'm just going to go back and find, right, here we go. So Alex has got, when I've been successful, I feel like I'm judged by others, so I step back. This is, again, something that happens time and time again with people. So I can completely understand with that. Oh, so Emma's got on here. You picked up exactly on my experience and where it came from. Thank you so much, Tracy. Emma, you are more than welcome. Stick around and hopefully we can help you to have some more breakthroughs with how we're working through with other people. Alex has got on here, for my unworthy of success issues, consciously, I'm not good enough on a 5 to 6, but I know I have an unconscious thing around of a 9. Okay, perfect. So let's have a look to really find out what's going on with you and where this really kind of stems from. So this unworthy of success, of not being good enough, of not being able to have success, they all fit into a very similar category. Now, in my 6 weeks to fire your inner critic and hire your inner coach course, I just want to explain how that came together. It came together because I noticed that there was a pattern. There was a pattern that no matter what somebody came to me with, there was an underlying factor. Hi, Dawn. Great to see you on here. You're absolutely cool. We are just about starting again on another topic. So let me just explain what we're doing. We're going through different transformations of people that feel that they are not good enough. It can be, like Alex has just mentioned, about unworthy of being success. We've just worked with Emma with regards to not feeling good enough for a relationship. And if you do want to also have a breakthrough, then let me know in the comments as well. So how my 6 weeks to fire your inner critic and hire your inner coach course came about was because I found that there were fundamental reasons as to why people were suffering, why people were in pain, why people weren't experiencing the experiences they wanted to have in life, and instead were experiencing what they didn't want in life. And a lot of that came down to a lack of self-love, a lack of self-worth, feeling like they didn't deserve anything, being able to not being able to forgive what's happened in the past and be able to move on, not being able to accept themselves for exactly who they are today. Now, that really is at the crux of every single issue. And that meant that was no different for somebody that may have come to me that had PTSD, so post-traumatic stress disorder. It's also the people that came to me that had addictions. Same type of core issues would happen from people that came to me with chronic pain. So I've helped people that have got ME, for example. Fibromyalgia is another one. There are a number of different aspects, but at the core of it were these feelings, and that part that we're talking about today of not being good enough, of being unworthy, as Alex said, is in this course. So, right, Alex, so we've got on here about feeling unworthy of success. So that's where we're going to go. We're going to start with our setup statement. So we're going to tap, and this is at the base of our little finger to the beginning of our wrist. There's a nice fleshy part of the hand there, taking 3 fingers. So, Alex, for you, we will be saying, even though I'm unworthy of success, I love and accept myself anyway. And if you guys... keep tapping. If you guys also feel like you can relate to Alex, that you also feel unworthy of success, then please do tap along and use the same wording. If you feel at any point in time the wording doesn't resonate with you, just swap it out for whatever does, okay? So even though I feel like success isn't for me, it's just not destined for me. And although I know that these feelings are completely holding me back, I love and accept myself anyway. So even though I feel like I'm not worthy of success, that I'm not good enough to achieve success, I forgive, love, and accept myself anyway. Now, just let me know in the comments, Alex, taking 2 fingers to the top of the head. When I said that last statement, what did I say? I said... even though I wasn't good enough to achieve success, I think something spiked up in me. Let me know if that's the same for you. So I'm just going to focus on that for a moment. Even though I'm not good enough to achieve success, I can't achieve it. I'm unworthy of being successful. And there's no point being successful, because if I was successful, then no one's going to like me. I will lose all of my friends. I will lose all of those people that mean a lot to me. So I don't deserve success. I can't achieve success. I don't know how to achieve that. I don't know how to make that work. I don't know how I can be successful. How can I be successful when it's only me? And again, just let me know whether these are resonating with you. Sorry, my fringe is getting too long and it keeps getting in my way. So yeah, this feeling that I can't obtain success. How am I, me, meant to obtain success? I know other people that are successful, but how am I meant to? I'm just me. And I've been told all the time that I'm not going to amount to anything, that I'm not good enough to be successful, that I can't do it by myself, that I can't do it on my own. And what happens if I am successful? Who will I be then? Will I still have the same friends? Will I still have the same circle of influence? Will people still like me? Will people think that I'm a fraud? Will everyone just find out that it's not true, that it's not going to last, that I somehow hoodwinked people into being successful? Because I know that if I was successful, it wouldn't last. These feelings of being unsuccessful. I think it also feels like if I don't try, I can't fail. Okay, so there's resistance there. Thanks for saying that. That's a really good one to put up here, because other people may also feel that resistance. Okay, so let's tap on that. So if I don't try, then I can't fail, because I can't be a failure. I can't be a failure because I've already been a failure and I know what that feels like. And I can't do it anymore. I don't want to be a failure. I don't want other people to know that I'm a failure. So if I don't try, I can just protect myself. I don't have to do that. But having said that, have I really failed? Because actually I haven't failed. I haven't failed because I'm still here. I haven't failed because I'm still moving forward. I haven't failed because I'm still keeping going and I'm still trying. So therefore, failure is just a perception. And that perception has come at a time where I've listened to my inner critic. But my inner critic, again, I'm not even sure if it's my voice. My parents always made me feel like I wasn't special or good enough. Yeah. So I think we're hitting the nail on the head here. It's not my voice that's telling me I'm a failure and that I'm not good enough. This is my parents' voice. This is the programming that they've given me. And that's because they couldn't see me for who I really am. They saw the version they wanted to see. But the reason they kept putting me down was actually because I could succeed. But if I could succeed, then it meant they would see their shortcomings. And that's their programming. So I'm going to let that go. I'm going to allow their voice to stay with them. I don't need to listen to it anymore. It doesn't need to be a part of me. I can release that programming and start to rewrite it. Because actually I am good enough. I've proven that time and time again. I might not believe it, but I've definitely proven it. And I felt good enough. I've had great times where I felt good enough. So it's not my voice. And if it's not my voice, it's not worth listening to because it's not serving me to my highest good. So I'm willing to let go, and I'm willing to be open to the possibility that I am good enough. I'm actually also open to the possibility that it might not work the first time. That if I try my business and it's not successful in the way that I want, that's okay. Because I know I can keep going. Because I know that I am good enough. I know that I can be successful if I keep going. But if I don't try, then technically I have failed. Because I haven't even started. So I release those fears. I release all of those emotions that are holding me back with love, and I'm forging forward. I'm aligning myself to possibility. I'm aligning myself to success. I'm aligning myself to be good enough, and I'm going to give this a go. I'm going to give it all I've got. I know I've got the skills. I know I can do what I need to do. It's been proven. I know people want my services. So actually, I'm already successful. And I'm going to continue to be even more successful. And I can do it by myself. I don't need anyone else. I don't need anyone telling me that I can or can't do something. All I need is my inner voice, the one that is true to me, that knows me better than anyone else. That voice that is true to my soul, that says, Alex, I can do this. Alex, I'm good enough. Alex, I'm successful. And I am the best that I can be. So I just want you to tap on the karate chop point now and take a deep breath. And just, again, move your body around a little bit and more for a bit of movement. And let me know where that feels now on a scale of 0 to 10. So just waiting for that to come through on a 5. Excellent. That's amazing. So that's really good. So what flared up for you the most? What gave you the most intense emotion? And also, what's the part that you kind of felt like, oh yeah, actually, yeah, that's true. Which bit of that was for you? For those of you that are also watching, if you can give me some thumbs up and some love so I also know that you're able to hear and see this, that would be great. Thank you. She got, oh gosh. Is that a hard one? Struggling. Okay, that's fine. Let's see if we can do more of a generic part of this to find out where that would be. So we're now at a 5. Okay, and let's see the parts where I felt that there was I still feel, if I tune into you, I still feel like one of the biggest parts is not necessarily your voice telling you that you're not good enough. I still feel like it's other people's voices. But now I don't feel like it's so much your parents. So can you just say yes or no as to whether you agree or disagree with that? And it might not even necessarily be wording. It's also how, like, other people may have made you feel like you weren't good enough. That's what I'm picking up. This is so true. Okay, so I want to use generic wording to make sure that, and if you know that there is any particular person or a group of people, for example, then for you, switch the name to that. For everybody else, we're going to be using a generic term so that we can do this. And if you're not quite sure because you don't know exactly who it is, but you just feel within your body that that's true to you, then you can use the same wording that we're going to do. So 2 fingers to the top of the head. So even though other people don't believe in me, and even though other people have thought that I can't achieve success, that I'm not worthy, they've made me feel inadequate. They've made me feel like I can't do it. They've made me feel like if I was to do it, it's because it was a fluke, not because I was skilled enough, not because I was good enough, not because I did it off my own back, as though it would have been because someone else helped me. So even though other people have this opinion of me, and I know that it's standing in the way of me being successful, of me being happy, of me being able to truly move forward, I can't help but feel these feelings. I can't help but have this fear about other people's opinions, other people's perceptions, other people's thoughts on what I'm really like, and then thinking that I'm not good enough, that I can't do this, that I can't have it and hold it all together, that they think that that they're better than me, and so that's why I can't achieve this, that they're more successful than me, even though other people don't think I can be successful, even though they're holding me back, even though they make me feel inadequate, like I can't do this, like I'm not good enough, that I can't be successful, that I haven't even got enough intelligence to be able to do that, that the only way I could be successful is if somebody else helped me to do it and almost handed it to me on a plate, as though I would be a fake or a fraud if I was successful. That seemed to spike for me. Let me know if that was the same for you. Yeah, that I'm a fake if I become successful, and that I won't be able to repeat the process because it would have just been a one-off, because that's what other people think of me. But if I step back from that for a second, are those people really helping me in my life? Are their opinions really that important? Oh my goodness, right at that time, yeah, I thought so. Are they really that important? Are they really helping me? Or actually, is their limited view on what I'm able to achieve holding me back? Are they judging me on their limitations because they couldn't do it? Because actually, I can. I know that I can. I can be successful. I can run my business successfully and be a mum and still look after my house and still look after me. I can do all of that. I know that because I believe in myself. I know that because I've done it before. I know that because I am doing that. And I know that I can do that more. That actually, maybe their opinions are because they're wanting to keep me small so they feel big. That's not helping me. So therefore, they're not a true friend. Big smile on this bit. Therefore, they're not aligned with my highest good. And I understand that I may have to let people go for me to be able to move forward. But actually, that's okay. Because if they're not my tribe, if they're not helping me move forward, then they were never a friend in the first place. They're not aligned to where I am now. Where I am now is being successful. Where I am now is following true happiness. Where I am now is aligned to my highest good. Where I am now is the Alex that's truly within me. My voice, my wants, my needs, my experiences. And I'm good with that. I don't feel like I'm being selfish. I have no need to feel any guilt or shame. The only feeling that I can have is embracing, excitement for the opportunities, loving myself, loving all of those friends that have kept me small and releasing them with love, because that's their conditioning. But it's not my story, and it's not what I'm willing to take with me in my future. So I'm moving forward. Me, myself. I'm releasing all of those negative feelings and emotions that have been holding me back. I'm releasing everybody else's opinions of me because they don't matter. And they're not true. They don't know me. Nobody knows me. And even if somebody says to me, I know you, I've known you for all of your life. No, they don't know you. They know who you were yesterday and the day before, but they don't know who you are today. Because today, you are successful. Today, you are the person stepping into the future. Today, you're in control of your destiny. Okay, and stop and tap on the karate chop point. Take a deep breath and just have a little bit of a move around. And where are you on a scale of 0 to 10 now? Two to 3, but probably more of a 2. That is amazing. I am so proud of you. So you went from originally the unconscious being part of a 9 and then getting down to more of a 2. So that's a massive transformation in that short period of time. And again, just to get down to a 0, that means that you can probably work on the rest of this part yourself going forward. I mean, really what I'm hoping you get to see through the demonstrations that I've done yesterday and also today is that there is no need to be stuck in this same old cycle of things that are holding you back from experiencing joy, love, happiness, and fluidity in life. And anything that is holding you back is something that we can overcome by either using the EFT, but really kind of getting to the core of that. And that's the whole reason I have my 6 weeks to fire your inner critic and hire your inner coach course. And I just want to go through that a little bit, because really you learn 3 fundamental areas that are really lifelong tools that you can use for any situation that's arising such as this. So the first tool that I teach you is mirror work. Now, mirror work is a wonderful part, because I learned this from Louise Hay, and her explanation of this is that your outside world is a reflection of your inside. So whatever you're experiencing outside of you is actually what is internally inside of you. And by using the mirror, very first of all, you also have a truth, an honesty that comes through. It's impossible to really kind of look at your eye unless you really force yourself to and actually lie to yourself. So that's one of the very first things that we will go through. I then help you to also overcome any of those negative behavior patterns, those cycles of emotions that have been keeping you stuck, that programming that we've been talking about that has been playing again and again and again and holding you back from enjoying life. I then teach you how to do the EFT. And then I also teach you how to do muscle testing. So you're learning 3 amazing lifelong tools. And if you also choose to have the course along with the coaching sessions, then you also get my expertise. My expertise brings with it a host of different advantages, because basically not only can I help you to always get to the root cause of something, I'm also able to either pull out EFT, the emotion code, or my mindset training. I also go through a number of different mindset techniques in the course as well. So you literally have got thousands and thousands of pounds worth of courses that I have learnt from in one place. It is so, it's so groundbreaking. It literally is transformational. You won't be the same person coming out as the person that went in. And that's why I am so keen to get it in front of as many people as possible, because I know it makes lifelong changes. So if you do want to take advantage, I do have an offer on this weekend. You can see up on the screen. If you are on Facebook, you can see it on here. If you are on YouTube, I will just give you the code here as well. And basically you are saving 30%. So I'm practically paying the VAT for you, and then you've got an extra 10% off as well. Here is the link as well for those guys on Facebook as well. So this course, like I said, it is groundbreaking. It is life-changing. It will help in so many ways. So I really hope that if you have enjoyed these experiences, please do share this with as many people as you can, because like I said, it can be transformational, and it breaks my heart. I do get a bit emotional. It really genuinely does break my heart when there are so many people that are struggling and they are in relationships that aren't suiting them, or they're in a job that they absolutely hate, or their finances are so up and down that they're completely struggling. When I know that these tools and techniques can help them to overcome that, so actually they're living a fully aligned life. So please do share this as much as possible. And also, if you have enjoyed this, then please do comment on my Facebook page as well, or on YouTube, to let me know like what you thought about this. If I've actually been working with you, then please share your experience, because the more people that understand what this is like and how it feels, then hopefully the more people I can roll this out to. So I want to say thank you so much, really, for giving me this opportunity over the last 2 days to really kind of bring this to you and to spend time with me doing that. I hope you found it as helpful and as inspirational as I have. I've thoroughly enjoyed spending every single minute with you guys. So I want to say thank you very much. And I will see you hopefully on my next live event. I have got a Mindset Monday coming at 10 o'clock on Monday, where we will be talking about resistance, and I will be helping some people to overcome whatever they are resistant to at that point in time using the emotion code. So if you want to tune into that, that is 10 o'clock on Monday morning. Oh, Emma, you are so incredibly welcome. I really genuinely hope that you enjoyed that experience. Do let me know on my Facebook page, and I will speak to you guys later on. Take care. Bye.